Hello, how are you doing in the lockdown? I'm Dr. Anjana Sen, one of the resource partners of Value Endow, and I'm here anytime you want to reach out and talk with me. I'm a coach for emotional management, coping with stress, and personal development. And I just wanted to ask how you're coping because this is a difficult time, and perhaps you're having to work from home, which is unusual for you. And you know, uh, emotional emotional health is often overlooked in a crisis, but that is exactly when you need it. So I'm sharing a slide with you. This is what emotional intelligence does. It maximizes potential and minimizes stress. Now, you see, what happens is that in a crisis, you need your intelligence, but your intelligence is sitting on the emotional level, and the emotional level works like a bedrock or a platform on which the intelligence is functioning. And just in case that platform is a firm and stable one, you will be able to function beautifully. But if that emotional level is explosive and bubbling and simmering with disappointment or rage or irritation, then that all the intelligence which are going to function lower than their full potential. So that is why it's important to provide a stable emotional level on which to work. And currently, there is a lot of stress all around. There is financial considerations. There's career anxieties. There's health hazard lurking around everywhere, and also, we need to protect our family members from catching the infection. So there's lots to think about, lots to stress about, and you have to work from home. So probably, you're not even uh, probably you are having to do all the housework because your help isn't turning up, or you have had to ask the help to stay at home so that you don't get infections from the community. So there's really a lot to do. So now what we have to do is prioritize. So we have to make sure that we know what is essential, what is non-essential, how to plan your day, how to make your schedules, and how to stick to it. So now the question is, how are you coping? Have you already had a meltdown? Or do you feel you're crumbling on the brink, teetering on the brink? Or maybe you're saying, I'm not doing so bad. And others are saying, I'm actually good. And I'm actually enjoying this. And this is a kind of a welcome change. So however it is, you need to know how you feel. What is that? Self-awareness. And prevention and planning is always better than firefighting. So why don't we take some tips from each other on how to work from home. So in the beginning, you have to make sure that there is a space which is quickly, you can quickly organize a space to work at, and reserve time for housework. Don't let housework smush into work time. Make the routine and stick to it. And when you're starting your day, wake up in time, make your bed, dress up nicely, and feel smart. You have to feel smart in order to be smart. And, there are various jobs to do all over the house, so make it very clear that who is doing what and how much, and restrict the time which you spend on receiving updates about the pandemic, because most of it freaks people out, and but it's important to know. So you must keep updated, but don't spend all your time doing that. And try to resist multitasking, because you're at home, you have to work, but you have to do your domestic chores, and you may not be able to prevent multitasking or avoid multitasking if you have little children. And while you're on a call, if a child climbs into your lap, it's probably better than having a child screaming and shouting. So you know best how to deal with that, and make sure that you find time to relax. And my other friends would have made it a point to tell you about exercising, but otherwise too, you need time to chill and be strict about that time as well, because work might spill over into that. And do not binge. Do not binge eating. Do not binge drinking. Do not binge watching, because you won't feel very proud of yourself. And sleep a lot. Sleep adequately. Have proper sleep times and stick to that too. And learn something new. Learn something new, because that really gives joy and reverses stress. And do not compete on social media, like oh, I did this beautiful painting, and I did this sketch, and I wrote this poem, and because that will become something like a pressure very soon. So don't try to be one up on social media. And if you're not sure about how you're coping, because sometimes we're not aware of ourselves, and if you're not sure about how well you're doing, maybe you can look for some red flags. We call them signs or warning signs. So the warning signs you need to look for are you being perfectionist? Because perfectionism is not perfection, it's a disease, and you need help. You don't want to be a perfectionist. You want to deliver good work, but not perfection. And maybe you've been procrastinating a lot. Usually that's a sign that you're suffering from self-doubt or sometimes low self-esteem. And perhaps some of the low self-esteem is due to guilt. And guilt would be because you haven't been doing your stuff, haven't been sticking to your schedule, which you made yourself, by the way, or you've been binging. Maybe you realize that you're snapping at people quite out of proportion to what the problem is, being irritable, or you're feeling just too overwhelmed because there's so much work and it's piling up because nothing's getting done. And physical signs like aching muscles, headaches, and also making a lot of mistakes, being forgetful, feeling empty. That is very difficult feeling. Not getting joy in anything, and just feeling very weepy all the time for what apparently looks like no reason at all. So if you see these red flags, then you must know that you need to stop and take stock of what's happening. Try to either find help or ask for help, And see, what is important is that in every crisis, there is a silver lining. To every black cloud, there is a silver lining. And the biggest one is that because you've been through a crisis, you've been through a struggle and come out of it with your sanity intact, then what you have achieved is you have built up some resilience. Been there, done that, and you're ready for the new challenges which the world will throw at you. Because what's interesting is that after a challenge as big as a pandemic, the world is never the same again. And surprisingly, the persons who've been through the pandemic are not the same either. They are usually richer for the experience, probably more adaptable. They are more sorted because they know what's essential and what's non-essential. They've been through that sorting process. And they are stronger, they are more confident that bring it on, I can face the next challenge. And also more self-aware. So I hope you enjoy your journey and come out stronger. See you soon.